Jai Hind. Welcome to Computology Academy, and today we are going to discuss about the Maoist attack that was done on the CRPF group in the Bijapur Sukma district region. So on the Sukma and Bijapur border region, the CRPF battalion was attacked. So the CRPF battalion, Cobra group of CRPF battalion was attacked on 25th of March 2021. So this was an attack, coordinated attack that was on the CRPF Cobra Battalion. Cobra Battalion is an elite group of the CRPF, elite battalion of CRPF, which is for the resolute action. So its full form is Commando Operation Battalion for Resolute Action. So basically they are for the resolute action, they are for the attacking mode actions in the infiltrated and the disturbed region. So here what happened, they got an information that there was something illegal activities or the infiltration activities that was going on in the Bijapur Sukma border region, and for that they started their combing action. And because of this, what happened, they reached in this region and they were trapped and they were attacked by the Dandakaranya commune of the Maoists. CPI, Communist Party of India Maoists, attacked them. They encircled them, trapped them and attacked them, and because of that, what happened, 22 CRPF personnels, commandos, lost their life. However, according to the claims of the CRPF, about 10 Maoists also died in this ambush, but 22 were the CRPF personnel who died, and one CRPF personnel, that is Rakeshwar Singh Manas, that has been taken captive or kidnapped by the Maoists, and now they are saying that they want to negotiate with the central government, and for that the central government should appoint one negotiator. And why this is happening, he is Rakeshwar Singh Manas, who has been taken captive. And in 2012 also there was same situation when Alex Paul, the collector of Sukma district, he had been kidnapped by the Maoists and he had been taken captive for 2 weeks. So after 2 weeks he was released by the Maoists after negotiating with the central government. 2 negotiators were appointed by the central government, and many of their demands had been fulfilled. Many of their demands which were illegitimate, that had not been fulfilled even. But this was a wake-up call for the government, even a high-rank IS official, a collector of a district, is being kidnapped by the Maoists and taken captive for 2 weeks, and they had to negotiate with the Maoists, whom they consider illegal group, infiltrate group, and against the Constitution of India and the administrative system of India. And although they are not considered legitimate groups by the government of India, then also they had to negotiate with them. So the government should have taken some resolute action, but this was not done, and again there were attacks on the CRPF personnel, politicians, high level officials, and they had been time and again kidnapped. Many of the industrialists are being harassed by them, the Maoists, and they are collecting levies and the illegitimate monies for their funding, and government is trying to take action, but they are not resolute because of the ill coordination between the local government, the state government, as well as the central government, and also the local peoples who are the tribals, who are the local landowners, who are disgruntled with the central government. They are also supporting the Maoists rather than the government, and this is the situation here. This is here you can see the Sukma district, here it is the Bijapur district, and in this border region of Sukma and Bijapur there was the attack, the ambush on the CRPF personnel. So this was the region, and here you can see it is a junction of 5 states. Here is Maharashtra, here is Telangana, here is Andhra Pradesh, and here it is Odisha. So what happens here, the Dandakaranya region is a junction of many states, and here it creates the critical case of jurisdictional issue between the different law enforcement agencies and the state police. So if any ambush happens here, then easily these Maoists can travel to any state. It may be in Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Telangana, anywhere. And when the issue arises of the jurisdiction. So this may be the jurisdiction of Chhattisgarh, but they cannot search and comb this region of Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh or Odisha, and because of this the Maoists get a good refuge to hide, and because of this what happens, they are time and again are able to escape the law enforcement agencies, action by the law enforcement agencies. But for this purpose CRPF had been given the special authority to move across the borders and across the jurisdictions to take action against the Maoists. But here is also a catch. Whenever the CRPF are taking action against the Maoists, they have to coordinate with the local police. And again there is a case of critical case of jurisdictional issue, because if the CRPF found that the action was here, they will coordinate with the Chhattisgarh police. But if the Maoists have escaped the Chhattisgarh region and now they are in any of the other 4 states, then again they will have to coordinate with the state police of these concerned states. And again there will be the issue of jurisdiction. So this is the case here, and here you can see the Maowadis are having a wide range of their effective regions. So the Maowadi affected regions, here you can see this is the red region, which is the highly affected region, thereafter the moderately affected region, and these are the regions. The blue areas are showing the new regions in which they are now spreading out. So Assam and Manipur, here also now they are coordinating and cooperating with the local liberation and the tribal groups, and now they are also making these regions effective regions for the Maoists. And here what happens, this is the Dandakaranya region. Dandakaranya region is the plateaus region and a resource rich region. Here is the Dalli Rajhara mines, and from here the iron ore is supplied to the Bhilai steel plant and the Bilaspur region. And here you can see most of the affected regions of the Maoist regions, they coincide with the forested areas. So these areas which are the greeneries, most of these the affected areas, Maoist affected areas, are the forested areas, because they find here a good refuge and good hideouts, and because of this these areas are most affected by the Maoists. Also most of the mineral resources are under the forest cover regions, and they may find the iron ore, they may find bauxite, they may find the coal, etc. Many of the mineral resources, and these regions are mostly populated by the tribals, and the tribals are very affectionate with their land resources. They have the only livelihood resource, that is land and the forest areas. And whenever they are displaced and resettled, they are not well resettled in the new regions, and even they don't want to get resettled and leave their lands, and because of this they are disgruntled with the government. So when the tribals are disgruntled with the central government, now in the picture comes the Maoists. So the Maoists come in these regions and they support the tribals. They are against the government, whether the state government or the central government. They are against the policies of the central government, because they consider the land acquisition and the development as a capitalist activity, and they are of the socialist and the communist mindset. They follow the communist and the socialist thought process, and because of that they are against the capitalism. And whenever there is the development of these regions, mining, industrialization, etc., by acquiring the lands of the tribals, they say that they are the capitalists who are concentrating the wealth in their hands, and they are displacing the tribals who are the rightful owner of this land, and the ownership is being shifted. And because of this they support the tribals, and the tribals also are happy with the support of the Maoists, and they are willing to support the Maoists even in their actions. And because of this what happens, the mining and the mineral resource regions of the India, that is, here you can see it is Jharkhand, it is resource rich region, and it is also one of the most affected areas by the Maoists. Here the South Bihar, again a mineral resource rich. In Jharkhand, the minerals like coal, iron ore, bauxite, etc. are found. In Bihar, in South Bihar region, there is limestone resources and mica resources. In Chhattisgarh, here in the Dalli Rajhara region, there is iron ore mines. In Korwa region, there is coals, and in the North Chhattisgarh region, there is bauxite. Thereafter, here in the Dandakaranya region, again there is iron ore, bauxite, mica, limestone, and here in the Andhra Pradesh region, there is again limestone and mica. And in some part you will find also the lignite coal mines also. So these are the regions where the Maoists are effective, and because of the disgruntled nature of the tribals, the forested areas, etc., they are most effective in these regions. So basically what happens, there is the issue of ill treatment of the tribals and not well planned and effective displacement and resettlement policies of the government. So the resettlement and displacement policies of the government are not well planned, and because of that what happens, the tribals are disgruntled with the government, and because of this what happens, they are supporting the Maoists, and Maoists find their foothold in this region. So this was the issue, and we have seen whatever the lapses in the government policies and whatever the reasons because of which the tribals support the Maoists, and the Maoists find the foothold in the mining regions which are going to be recently developed or developed in the earlier times. So thank you very much and have a nice day, and do subscribe our channel and press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new videos. Thank you very much and have a nice day.